Hello everyone! KosakChess welcomes you warmly on the recap of round number 8. The Giga game is about to happen. Why is it Giga game? You can see the name of my opponent, Grand Master Giga Quparadze, a Grand Master from Georgia, one of the craziest Grand Master in the world. Well, in general, he is a really nice guy, really gentle and etc. etc. I am not talking about his behavior. I am talking about his chess style. He is blitzing out every single move. Doesn't matter if he plays classical chess, rapid or blitz. In blitz, it is normal to blitz out moves. But in classical, guys, imagine that in round number 4, this guy ended a game with 2 hours and 20 minutes on the clock. Okay? 2 hours and 20 minutes. And he made a draw. He made the draw. He was blitzing out all the moves. He reached the time control. After the move 40, he gained additional 30 minutes. And he didn't make any mistake. He made a draw in this game. So this game was really specific because I know that I am playing for some stake. There is a norm in stake there because I am 6 out of 7. I need 7 points in total to get a Grandmaster norm. And I am playing white pieces. And I know this game would end quickly because it doesn't matter if I think 1 minute, 5, 20, 30 minutes. It doesn't really matter. He will blitz out the answer. So I know that this game will end in 1 or 2 hours maybe. Really. Even though... And he's playing good. It is not that he blitzes out all the moves and he blunders everything. On European Championship, he beat such players like Jules Moussard. He beat it. He almost, I remember even in one game he played against David Navarra with 2 hours on the clock. He put up the fortress. He was playing the only moves without even thinking. David Navarra was pressing him, was trying to do some traps, etc., etc. But Giga is Giga player, So, please, I invite you warmly to the game. I played d4, knight f6, and knight f3, so the same opening I have chosen in game number 3 against Benny Kagasarov. e6 and e3, so the call system. The call system I am about to play. I prepared one line against him, and he played what I prepared, so c5, bishop d3, d5, b3. A typical call system. My idea is to develop the bishop on b2, knight d2, make a castle, some knight d5, f4 ideas. Really old system. Nowadays, even black might be somewhat better after it, but my game is really clear. The plan is simple, so I wanted to reach that position that I understand. Knight bd7 and bishop. Short castle. This is the thing I prepared because the move b3. Okay, maybe may can tell you that I will develop the bishop on b2, but I don't want to spoil anything. Maybe this bishop will go on a3, or I can prepare the move c4, striking in the center. And this happened in the game. g6 and c4. I am still in the preparation. Bishop g7, knight c3. So all of this was in my files. And he played the move castle. This move surprised me. This move surprised me a little bit. Because the only thing I prepared was the move d takes c4. And now after b takes c4, short castle. And sooner or later he will take the pawn on d4, and after ed4 I will have the typical structure with hanging pawns, which can give me satisfying initiative. But he played a castle instead. So again, I turned on logic mode. If I knew that the main move and probably the best engine proposal is d takes c4, so if he makes a castle, most probably I need to take the pawn on d5. That's why I take it. That's why I took it, the pawn on d5. Because, we may transpose to the variation I had looked. dc4, bishop, bc4, castle, and the move a4, intending with bishop a4, and even sometimes a5 if he plays the move b6. I can even make some sorry Giga, I didn't want to emphasize you, a5, trying to destroy this nice black pawn chain. But if he played the move short castle, something, you know, popped up in my head that, okay, I can take the pawn on d5. And after ed5, it is you who has the, who might have the isolated pawn on d5, especially if I take the pawn on c5. Now I don't want to do it because I opened the bishop, but something like bishop a3 is really promising, attacking the pawn rook c1 in the air. If queen a5, then queen c1, protecting both of these pieces, and dc5, sorry, rook d1, I can make some pressure in the future along the d file. But instead, he played the move c takes d4. Of course, it is... I need to mention something. Playing against such players is really strange. It is a really rare case, because I don't know anyone who plays like in Giga Quparadze style. I don't know anyone. Because, you know, if he blitzes out all the moves, you have no idea if he is still in his preparation, if he knows what he does, or maybe he is bluffing. You have no idea. You may expect everything. The best thing you need to do is to just focus on the board and trying to make the best moves, no matter what happens. Because, you know, he plays c takes d4, knight takes d4, so I recapture. Of course, I am hoping that he will take knight d5, ed5, and we will play the normal position with isolated pawn, which gives me promising chances, because, you know, I can play bishop a3, rook c1, knight b5, knight 7, knight d6. I can play thanks to this dark squares. But he plays e5, so he doesn't care about my pawn, you know? Knight e2 to protect the knight, and e4. After the move e5, I understood that he wants to play e4, opening the diagonal for his bishop. So the knight is really doing a really good job protecting the c3 knight. Bishop c4, really logical. Of course, you can't take on e4 because you lose the rook on a1. So bishop c4 makes perfect sense. You protect the you protect the pawn. If he plays knight b6, the pawn is protected. So you can play something like bishop a3 and continue the game being pawn up. So he played the move knight d5, really logical consequence. He has this outpost with this pawn on e4. Something similar happened in the game with Aryan Golami. He also had this pawn on e4, and he also has this outpost on d3. So we can see that some ideas are similar and may happen in more than one game. Of course, the game started in totally different way than the first one, but some ideas might be similar. I played the move bishop a3, developing a piece, attacking the rook. He plays rook e8. Well, like, what is happening? I am pawn down. I am pawn up. No problems at all. I developed all my light pieces. What the heck is wrong with this position? And you know, there is nothing wrong with this position. But this game is sometimes about psychology. If he plays that quickly, because he has like hour 33 minutes or something there. Hour 33 minutes. So he blitzed out all the moves and gained this additional 3 minutes by having this 30 seconds increment per each move. I don't know what to think. Like, this was the wrong thing I did. I wasn't focusing mainly on the board. I was also thinking about the things which are not directly connected with this game, right? He's blitzing game, he's blitzing out all the moves, so he's in the prep, etc, etc. He has the plan, he has answer on my every single move. It doesn't matter if I think 30 minutes even on one move. He has the answer on every single move. It's insane and it's really unpleasant to face. Bishop b5. So because I know that this bishop does nothing there, and if I have pawn advantage, I want to exchange pieces. So bishop d7. Also, this bishop could somehow join the attack on the king side, so exchanging him is perfect. Bishop d7, queen d7, and knight g3. So I target the e4 pawn. This pawn is hanging. I knew, like, in normal circumstances, I would be like almost sure that I am fine. But against Giga, you are not. Knight e4. This was probably the longest thought of him, because he used 3 minutes by making this move. This was the longest thought he had ever done during this game. h3, knight h6. Okay, he defended the pawn, but he moved his knight from the central position to the edge one. So what the heck can be wrong with this position? But you know, I know that my position is perfect. He moved his knight from e5 to h6. Rook c1. I developed the piece. I move my rook from this x-ray, from this g7 bishop x-ray. Rook a d8. He develops the last piece. He attacks my pawn, but I play queen e2, and I don't care if you take the pawn. I will take yours on e4, or maybe even with this one is much better, or maybe with this one. No, yeah, with this one, because this knight is doing nothing on the king side. It can reach c5, etc., etc. And if he doesn't do nothing, I play rook d1. Knight f5. Knight takes f5. Okay, I am happy if he exchanges pieces. Queen f5. Knight b5. Okay, maybe I will tell you something, because I didn't improve in my time management during the whole tournament, unfortunately. So the thing is that he has almost 1 hour of advantage there. He's like 1:30 there, and me about 30 minutes, because I was trying to play it accurately. I was trying to play it perfectly. I was trying to not make any inaccuracy in order to not spoil the advantage, because I know that I am fighting for something. I know that I am playing against this unpredictable guy. So I knew that I need to be precise, because he's ready for my every single move. He has the answer on every single move. So I need to be ready for everything. That's why I burned that much time. But until this moment, it was pretty okay. Well, it was pretty okay on the board, but it was not pretty okay in my head. He played the move. Yeah, he played the move bishop f8. Okay, guys, maybe you don't know what was happening before the game. I have never had a opportunity to achieve the GM norm. Like, okay, maybe I said it wrongly. I had the opportunity, but I was never that close to make a GM norm. A lot of people tells that the hardest thing to do, achieving a Grandmaster title, is to make this very first norm. Because if you do the first norm, you realize that you can achieve such a result. You can achieve a result of a Grandmaster level. So it means that if I make a Grandmaster norm, I will be conscious that I am able to do it. And you know, if I lost so many chances because I was like, in many moments, I was lacking half a point. I was lacking, you know, maybe one Grandmaster opponent. I was lacking federation. I was lacking 1 point, which is maybe quite a big difference. But anyway, I had many chances when in last round, let's say, I could change the direction, change the direction of the game, and in some cases, if I win the game, I make a norm. But I lost every opportunity. I didn't manage to get a norm before. And I know that in this position, when I win the game, I do it. When I win the game, I do it. But on the other hand, the fear of losing the game was so big that unfortunately I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep well before this game. And it's crazy and it's insane, because now I know that I am able to do it. Now I know that, yeah, chess is important, but chess cannot destroy my life, my thinking process. Chess cannot, you know, be that hard part of my life, if you know what I mean. But I couldn't sleep before that game, because I know that I have another chance to make a GM norm. What does it mean? I have another chance to lose this opportunity. And we may repeat again, oh shit, here we go again, etc, etc. And I really didn't want to repeat this scenario. Before this Armenia tournament, I played 2 open tournaments in Slovakia, Pieszczany, and in Czech Republic, Pardubice. And one of the tournament even I won in Slovakia. Then in Pardubice I got 6th place, which was decent result. And it was like, you know, this was the game number 26 in a row. This is the game number 26 I played in a row. I played tournament after tournament. And I knew that, you know, if I play 3 tournaments in a row, in the previous two, even though I won in one tournament, I didn't manage to make a GM norm. In Pardubice, place number 6, but it was definitely not enough to make a GM norm. I played the 3rd tournament, this is now the Armenia. And I see that I have a great position, I am pawn up. If I win the game, it's over, I am done. Like, I am happy. I am done with my quest. But if I don't, the scenario repeats. And I'm in this endless loop where I have the chance and I lose it, then again I make a chance and again I lose it, etc, etc, etc. And such scenarios were happening in my life many times. And you know, in this position, being pawn up and seeing that I can take the pawn on a7, I play the move bishop f8. And I know that after every recapture I can at least take the pawn on e7. I can maybe push the guy on d6. Even I can threat something like knight c7, I don't know. Let's say after rook f8, knight a7, rook d5 and a4, because this knight might be a little bit trouble, so knight b5, knight d4. I am having a position with no risk, with that, like if I summon the knight on d4, it is perfectly placed. Then rook c7, rook c1, 2 against 1. Obviously winning position. Even though my king is really not even though, my king is really safe additionally. Nothing wrong can happen in this position. But after bishop takes f8, I offered a draw. Can you imagine that? I offered a draw. The fear of losing this chance, because, you know, in my head, I felt demons. I felt demons like, if I manage to F up, I will say, if I manage to F up this position, I know that there's no, I thought that there's no hope for me. If I F up such chance like this, I will be never able to do it in the future. That's why I tried to be safe. And I offered a draw. And I knew, I calculated that in the last round I am playing a guy who is having a bad tournament, but I am playing black pieces, so achieving a draw with black pieces, it's not the easiest job in the world. But the fear was too much. And again, the psychology, you can see how psychology in chess makes a great impact on this game. It was not all about chess, even though I can even show you the engine. I will turn it on and oh, now you see it. +2 in the move number 22 against Giga, who is blitzing out everything. I took the bishop on f8, which is perfectly fine, and you can even see that after rook f8, oh, knight a7, rook d5, and the move a4, which gives me the b5 square. I can come back to d4, cement it on d4, cement it on the center, my king is safe, etc, etc. I am winning. Like, I can never lose this game. But the fear of effing it up was so big, you know? how psychology is important in this game. How your head needs to be prepared for such situations. You know, it may sound funny. It may sound funny, but during this tournament, there were really serious thoughts. There were really serious thoughts that, what if I F up again? What if I F up again and I will never do it in the future? I love this game. I really care about it. I will be really sad if I don't fulfill my dreams at all. So, yeah. In normal circumstances, I would just play this game and most probably for 90% I would just clinch it. I would just convert the advantage. Because there's nothing wrong happening. Let's have a look. Even though I have this b3 weakness after, sorry, not rook d2, but after rook d3 I have knight b5, rook b3, knight d4. Even tactics works in my favor. But not today. Not today. Today I just wanted to rest, to clear my head, and prepare for the last round of the tournament. It's really bad that such situation, well, it's good in the long term, because I can learn something from that. But during this game, I was feeling, and I was really nervous. I was really nervous during this game. Before the game also, I couldn't sleep well, because I knew that I can F up the position. I can F up the game and everything. I can F up the result 6 out of 7, and I knew I can just lose it in one game. That's why it is important to not only train chess, but to also prepare your head. Because every great sportsman says it. And it's also about chess, I can agree. That of course, no matter how much you train, no matter how much time you sacrifice doing what you love, doing what you like, doing what you need to do. But if your head is not prepared for tough moments, if your head is winning against you, if your head is your toughest opponent, it's not a good sign. In this game, I played against Giga. It was Giga game for sure. Because of course he accepted the draw. I have to say, he accepted that draw. Like immediately. Like, what the heck, man? You're offering a draw being pawn up? What the heck you do? Of course I agree. But for me, yeah, I was happy this game was over. I was really happy because yeah, if he maybe played normal style, if he was like thinking like a human after every move, maybe also my head would work in a different way. But not against Giga. This game like lasted like, I don't know, like hour 30 minutes? Maybe hour 30 minutes and it was over. But it was hour 30 minutes of suffering. But the toughest opponent was not Giga Quparadze. It was KosakChess head. Thank you guys. See you in the next recap.